So coming to balance, right? Just some of the things that we're talking about. Before contact, you got to be under control. Even at our level, right? Division III. We're not playing with the same guys Wisconsin's playing with. So this is a big piece to it. This is why we do those simple drills, and I'll show them a little bit later in the presentation. But from our standpoint, this is going to make or break your tackle. You being under control, right? And that's the biggest thing. Is now, if you're under control, I feel like now in everything in the option game, we'll talk about that later. But if you're under control, you have a chance to make a play. So shorten your stride to adjust for change of direction, right? With all the zone schemes and the cutbacks, we need now, if this is the ball carrier, whoever it is, we need to just make sure, one, we're under control and we're shortening our strides. I think that happens now when you come to balance and you're sitting your feet. And you guys may have a different buzzword for that, I don't know, but our eyes, it's easy. So I can simply say to Zach, and I keep bringing Zach's name up because he's been one of the best linebackers we've had in the last couple of years, but hey, St was good, but you didn't shorten your stride. So now in that first drill, if he's starting to run, and he now goes over the line, in my eyes, those strides need to be a little bit shorter, right? And we don't ever give them, hey, it needs to be 6 inches or 5.5 inches, because on the football field, that's tough to measure out. So sink your hips, right? Lower your center of gravity. I think that's self-explanatory, but even with our guys, sometimes they don't understand, right? We're talking about we want knee benders, not waist benders. And I think that starts in the weight room, You guys probably see it. When I was in high school, I thought I could squat the world, but then you watch it on film, and I'm always squatting like this. Yeah, well, that's going to bring down poor habits on Friday nights, poor habits in practice, poor habits on Saturday. Flatten your back for striking power. And obviously, a flat back for us is just a 45-degree angle. In my eyes, this is a good football position. I hope to now be able to make a play on this ball carrier, or the quarterback, or whoever it is. Opposed to, like I said, being a waist bender and truly having a flat back. And you'd be surprised, we have some smart kids, but when I say flat back, we got some D linemen, that think they're in a stance. And I know you have to explain that, and probably your level the same deal. And even in the NFL, you see a lot of guys lunging. And I think now that just talks about, hey, if I have a flat back at a 45, opposed to now I'm bending at my waist, well, hey, you can't hit what you can't see, right? That's the first thing I learned in Pop Warner. Probably the same thing with you guys as well. And keep your head and eyes up, right? And I think this is the process and this is the progression that we use. And I think that's important. I don't know if you guys do this, but we don't just throw guys in there and say, hey, we're tackling today. In spring ball, and Coach can attest to this, we don't have any pads. It's awful. Lost the vote by 12 votes. Those are probably the idiots that don't even have football at their college. But those guys voted that we shouldn't have pads. Well, spring ball in our eyes isn't always about scheme, it's about getting the fundamentals, and this is the number one for us on the defense. Right? We got to bring the ball carrier down. Hey, if it's a 55-yard game, we still got to bring the dude down. It doesn't matter. Obviously, our philosophy, we want to give up 3, not 6. So talking about the stagger, right? Pretty simple, right? My right leg's up, right shoulder should make contact. My left leg's up, left shoulder should make contact. Firm side, right? And I think that starts to get into how you play defense. And this is, what we were talking about the firm side and the free side. If I'm the left defensive end, I'm probably going to make a tackle more likely if the play's away with my right leg. Only because now he understands he's a box player or a skill player, depending on what defense we're in. And all I mean by that is, hey, my outside arm and leg free, this is the firm side in his eyes. He understands that. So Austin Prussia from Wanakee or some of the other guys we have, I said, hey, your firm side, what happened? And this goes into everything, right? Staying square and vice versa to the line of scrimmage. Any question on this? Like I said, I'm going to just talk fast unless someone stops me. So we're good, Coach. Thank you. Right, and accelerate. So I think this is the biggest piece. Drive off the front foot. And I think some people look at that, well, driving off the front foot. Well, and everything we do, and our strength and conditioning coach does a great job of this, when we work this stuff in the offseason in the weight room, but I think that's extremely important. If I'm here and I'm driving off the front foot, hopefully and naturally, the shoulder will come with it. Okay? The shoulder will come with it. Opposed to now, if I'm driving off the back foot, and now maybe my body turns. So lift, roll hips, and run through contact. You know, when we have the one-man sled, and probably just like the rest of you, I mean, where we're going to simply just square it up, and I'm just going to give them commands, sink, and they're bouncing their feet, they're keeping their feet hot, stagger. We'll do the first time on the left, and then strike. And I want them, as they have violent uppercuts, I want them to bring their knees up. Over-exaggerate the knee drop. So I think on Saturdays for us, when the bullets are flying, muscle memory has said to them, hey, when I make contact, my knees are always moving. And this is in everything, not just tackling, but shedding a block and vice versa. Grabbing on the tackle and shed on the block. Obviously, everything involves feet, right? And this is a ground-based game. That's why we do, and we have, the strength program the way it is. You know, I laugh when the baseball team's in there working out same time as our guys. I only say that because they have a lot more guys than us sometimes in our weight groups, but they never go to the platforms. I die when I see that, but, you know, for us, that's extremely important. Everything we do, you know, is with Olympic lifts. You know, everything we do is on our feet. And keep your head and eyes up, right? And I think that's, again, self-explanatory type of stuff, but obviously this is for safety, and this is the biggest thing, right? I know it's cliche to say, but, you know, the game's under attack a little bit. I know probably at the high school level more than college, you guys have parents all the time. You know, we had a recruit up yesterday, had a parent tell me, well, what do you do to prevent concussions? Oh, shit. Well, we try to teach tackling the right way. But even our best kid, Zach Larkowski, you know, he had 2 concussions this year. Because Zach's a little bit different, right? Zach he was like a kamikaze. So even our best players who do the things right 90% of the time, still, it's that one hit, right? So just things to think about, and I guess why we're teaching what we're teaching. And this talks a little bit more about the sink, stagger, and strike. Right? So for what it's worth, I know everyone has a different approach to it, but I can't stress this enough. I think buzzwords are the best thing for you. I didn't have a chance to see Coach talk about D-line play, but I'm assuming you have some buzzwords, right? I mean, just things that are easy so you can be fast, right? And I think everything, not just on the field, but your practice. I mean, the 2.5-hour practices are over, at least in our eyes, right? I mean, that's just a lot of time, a lot of wasted time. So, you know, we just need to be able to communicate fast, okay? And obviously the same, we sort of talked about this, you know, head up with your eyes under the ball carrier's chin. You know, and that's a true form tackle. You know, it's really the angle and the profile tackle, which I'll talk about next, that we're really concentrating on. Because really, the only guy that will make a form tackle are our 2 inside linebackers. You know, we're 3-4 personnel most of the game. So those are the guys that if we get ISO or maybe a counter scheme that's inside of the tackle, he may have a chance to truly wrap this guy up like we've worked and like I just talked about, with violent uppercuts, okay, hot feet, driving those knees, rolling the hips into it. Okay, the stagger, the same thing that we talked about. You know, I think on the bottom there, and another buzzword we say is we always talk about vicing, right? And these terms are not just for defense; they're for special teams as well. You know, being a Division III coach, I have the awesome responsibility of, you know, being a man of many hats. So I run our KOR unit, I run our punt return unit, I'm the video coordinator. Coach probably knows how that goes. I mean, you do a lot of stuff. So, you know, we need to make this simple, and these terms aren't just for our defensive guys. You know, they're for our offensive guys as well. You know, especially the word vice, right? We want to take half the man away. And I think when you think about that, it's like, well, you know, again, self-explanatory, right? We want to take half the man away, work them to the boundary. We want to take half the man away because you're a box player and you have your extra bonus player in the run game. But I think that's important, right? And we're always trying to key the hip. Right, for us, that never lies to us. So the hip is always something that we're trying to keep. So when we're getting into our stagger, we're trying to take a half man, opposed to when we work it the first day, we're just trying to split the crotch. This is more now our foot that we're staggering needs to go to that near number. So if anything else, we're not going to get the cut back to us. You know, if anything else, we're just going to be able to wrap him up at an angle, and we'll talk about that angle tackle in a minute, and then we'll be able to get him down, which is the number one goal for us. And the strike, you know, we're just trying to pull him down on the ground, right? We're just trying to get him down. So the angle tackle, profile tackle for us is the number one, right? Everything we do in our game, and probably the same thing with you guys, right, is this angle tackle. I mean, this is how This is just it. With zone schemes, whatever the case may be, everything now is going to be at an angle. You know, how we teach our linebackers, you know, we don't really cross over anything. You know, we don't ever want to cross the midline of our body, so our linebackers, our inside linebackers are constantly step replace, shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. So we're always trying to stay square. Well, we don't see a lot of ISO, so we're not ever going to get the form tackles, so those angle tackles are important. And this is just obviously from a side, we're just trying to take half man away, and opposed to aiming right in the front, where now this guy has a two-way go. This guy has a two-way go, and I know, again, it's self-explanatory, but we're just trying to eliminate the chances of the cutback. Because if that guy is your bonus player and you're you know, sort of the guy you're hoping to make the tackle based on your scheme, you better hope that guy gets him down. Because if not, you're going to have a corner running down a running back. You know, chances are that those don't always go the best way. But again, sink, stagger, strike is everything we're talking about. But now it's just at an angle. So if this ball carrier is turned and I'm this inside linebacker or safety or whoever is in the box for you to make this play, we're shuffle, shuffle, we're coming to balance, we're still banging our knees, right? We're zitting our feet. And now, the stagger, the strike, the run through is all the same. This helps us a little bit more because our momentum and just that angle is a little bit easier now just to, we'll talk about a roll tackle, which is what we really teach more than anything else. But now it's much easier for us to come here, roll it up, keep our feet hot, and vice versa. So I have some coaching points, right? Just deliver the blow, you know, run through, you know, just the things we're constantly trying to say, keep it simple, stupid type of deal. You know, because even our guys, when we have some pre-med guys at 395, if you explain a lot of things to them, sometimes it doesn't go, it doesn't stay in their brain. It goes in one ear, goes in one ear, it comes out the other.